Now, almost all of Britain's major developers, including Britain's biggest house builder, Barratt, have agreed to sign contracts to remove flammable cladding from tower blocks and to fix other building defects discovered in the wake of the fire at Grenfell Tower in West London. The Housing Secretary, Michael Gove, has threatened these companies with being banned from building if they don't sign up. But developers and cladding campaign groups claim that the legal contracts will only tackle a small proportion of the overall problem. Phil Hendry explains a little more.
It's taken protests and endless amounts of campaigning, but 6 years on from Grenfell, have the flat owners caught up in the cladding crisis finally got what they want? Developers in England agreeing to fix their flammable and unsafe buildings.
By signing the contract, these developers have committed to fixing at least 1,100 buildings. They will invest more than £2 billion in that work. Let me take this opportunity once again to apologise to those leaseholders and others who've waited so long for this work to be done.
But tonight, Mr Gove's apology rang hollow for residents of this Ipswich tower block, the fire service issuing a prohibition order telling them to evacuate because of cladding and other fire safety problems.
Today's been devastating. I live in an orphaned building. We've got no developer to go after. There's 80 families have lost their homes here who have got no idea when they're ever going to be able to come home again, if ever.
Let us help you find your perfect home.
It's the same problem at Olympic Park in Stratford. The developer dissolved after they were built for the 2012 Games. The glossy promotional video can't hide a range of fire safety issues for the people living there now.
We have no timeline, we have no plan of action. We're kind of waiting around for other people to make decisions. And we're trying to lobby government organisations, and no one really wants to listen.
The government says residents here should be helped by the existing £3 billion Building Safety Fund. But while Stratford continues to expand at pace, 2 years after submitting 40 applications to the fund to fix the existing blocks, residents are still waiting to hear about most of them. Developers being dissolved or going bust is not an uncommon problem, so Michael Gove's latest initiative may only help about 15% of dangerous tower blocks. That's according to the House Builders Federation, who represent Britain's biggest developers.
They're also being asked through taxes and through levies to pay for problems with buildings that they didn't build, that were built by overseas developers or by developers who are no longer around, and that's the majority of these buildings.
Including Cardinal Lofts in Ipswich, where they know only too well tonight the cladding crisis is very far from over. Phil Hendry, BBC News.